Hi, welcome back to the show. My name is Jamie Zweer, and I am the host of the Oh How Healthy podcast. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about a question that I get a lot. And it comes in a lot of different forms, this question, but essentially it comes down to how do I get more veggies into my diet? I'm good with protein, I meal prep, chicken each week. I like fruit, but I just don't know how to get veggies into myself or my family's diet because maybe we're just not the biggest fans or, you fill in the gap there. So either way, I wanted to share a few tips on how to get veggies into your diet in a really simple, easy, and affordable way. So let us not waste any more time and just dive right in. All right, so I have about 7 tips here. So if you wanted to incorporate more veggies into your diet, I want to say this. Start with what is easiest for you. So with it being most easiest and convenient, that does not mean that the option is going to be the most affordable, right? Because sometimes we pay for convenience over affordability. For example, buying pre-spiralized zucchini noodles, right? So that we don't have to buy the zoodler, buy the zucchinis, take the time to spiralize it. Or maybe buying pre-shredded lettuce or pre-chopped items. Or maybe even those like little celery packets or pre-cut and pre-washed apple packets. Those things are convenient. Now, what I would say if you're just wanting to get something into yourself and your family's diet, I would just go with what is convenient first, okay? And then once you get the hang of it, once you're used to having some apple slices, apple's not really a fruit. It's not a fruit. Maybe once you're used to having celery and peanut butter for a snack, or you're used to having zoodles, spiralized zucchini noodles for dinner, things like that, then you're like, all right, I'm going to skip the $7 spiralized zucchini noodles, and I'm just going to buy a zucchini and spiralize it myself. I'll invest in one of those spiralizers and have it be a thing, right? It's just about getting over those initial humps. So first I want to say that do what is most easy initially. And then after that, I would say start with what you know and what you already like, right? So maybe you're thinking, I really don't feel like trying all these new things. I really am not the biggest fan of X, Y, or Z. So then go with what you are used to and what you do like. If you know that you already like carrots, then sure, buy some carrots and eat carrots. And if that's the only thing that you're liking, then we can work around that, right? There's different ways to get beta carotene and different vitamins into your diet. So don't force yourself. Don't, make it a thing and you're like, I'm not really familiar with that. I don't really know how to prepare that. I'm just not going to buy that. Go with what you know, and then you can explore maybe something new every single week as the time comes. Or maybe you're just used to knowing how to prepare a salad, a simple salad. Celery, spinach, tomatoes, whatever it is that you buy. You don't have to feel like you need to be extravagant and buy beets and make roasted veggies and all that stuff. No, we can get to that, okay? And there's also simple ways to kind of get that in. If you like that roasted flavor, there's easy and affordable ways to get that in as well. But I just want you to know that start with what's easiest, tip number 1, and then tip number 2 here is start with what you know and what you know how to prepare, right? You don't have to pick up parsnips and feel like you need to make parsnip fries and all this stuff. We'll get there in the future if we feel like it, okay? So just start with what's simple, start with what you know. And for my 3rd tip here, I want you to know that fresh is always best. But a very close second to fresh is frozen. A lot of fruits and veggies are immediately cut and flash frozen. So they contain a lot of the nutrients and vitamins from similar to fresh, okay? So it goes fresh, then frozen, then canned. Now, canned is not necessarily bad. It's better to have canned than nothing at all. Many canned veggies and fruits still contain plenty of nutrients, but that's kind of the way it goes. It goes fresh, frozen, then canned. So buy those fresh veggies if you can, and if you can't, then grab a bunch of frozen bags of veggies. Grab some broccoli, grab some peas, grab some string beans, grab a bunch of stuff. Grab stir fry, a bag of frozen stir fry veggies. And what's so beautiful about frozen veggies, why I like them so much, is they're mainly more affordable than the fresh veggies. You can keep them for as long as you want in the freezer until they get frozen burn, but it usually takes a while. And I also love that you can take them out of the freezer and put them in the refrigerator for a day or so before you're ready to have them. And you don't even need to go through the defrosting process. You're just ready to maybe put it in the microwave or put it into a frying pan or whatever you need to do with it, and then you have veggies. So it literally could not be any easier to use frozen. And then, like I said, canned, just check the ingredients in canned. Like I always say, check your ingredients and make sure that there's no, extreme added sugar or salt or strange ingredients that you're not quite sure of. Sure, there might be 1 or 2 preservatives. Sure, there might be a little bit of salt. Just check those things out, and also make sure that it's in water. Sometimes fruits and veggies are in oil, and you don't want the oil base. You just want good old water. Sometimes there's a little bit salt as a preservative, and so that's fine. So do not worry. Canned veggies, there's nothing wrong with them. There's probably a little bit of salt, a little bit of extra sodium, but it's probably nothing that you wouldn't already add to your veggies when they're cooked, right? Sometimes you don't even need to add extra seasonings to your canned veggies. So for just a couple dollars a serving, you will buy a couple cans of veggies, throw together something really fun and fresh, and you can throw together a taco salad. You can get a can of corn, get a can of tomatoes, get a can of beans. You can also rinse off the canned veggies if you prefer, and throw something really delicious together with some chopped lettuce and some taco seasoning, some olive oil, lemon, and before you know it, you have a really fresh and delicious and healthy meal. So don't worry about getting canned. And also when it comes to organic or conventionally grown, there is a list that is released by the Environmental Working Group every single year, and it is a list called the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. So if you're concerned about what you should buy organic or what you can buy conventionally grown, I'll leave a link for that below, but you can also just check out the Environmental Working Group's website as well, okay? All right, so we are moving on to our next step, and my tip number 5 for you is baby steps are key, okay? This is not all or nothing. This is never all or nothing. You hear me talk about this a lot. It's not, I'm going to be healthy this week and I'm going to make sure I have veggies. And it's not, I forgot to have veggies every single day this week. So we need to find a little bit of middle ground. And the only way that we're going to be able to do that is by understanding that this is a process and we are doing the best we can and we are taking the initiative, right? You're listening to this podcast, you're taking notes, you're doing what you can, and you're making an effort. Now, maybe you start off by buying 1 extra can of veggies a day and you throw peas in with your pasta and you have pasta pea Alfredo, something like that. And then you do that for a whole month. You do that every single week for a whole month. And then before you know it, it will be the next month, and then you can add something new. Then you buy a frozen bag of stir-fry veggies, and then you make sure you have stir-fry and chicken for a dinner one night. So now you're having an added serving of peas in one of your dinners. You're making chicken and veggie stir-fry, and then before you know it, you're going to add onto those skills. So it really is all about baby steps, about going from 0 to 25 instead of 0 to 100, right? Because it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. I think this is what gets us tripped up, especially for my perfectionists. I know I have some perfectionists here, and I can feel your pain, because you will say, you know what? If I'm not going to do it perfectly, why do it at all? And the reason why you want to do it at all is because this is your health we're talking about. We're talking about making small steps into the right direction of creating a completely healthy lifestyle. We have to remember that the initial goal here is just to eat more veggies. And of course, this will transition into other elements of your life and improve other elements of your life, like your energy and your sleep and all these different things. But we just are focusing on getting more veggies. And it's about taking those baby steps and ultimately getting to where you want to be. And also, I wanted to point out, this kind of falls into this tip here, is that you are the trendsetter for your family. Women in general are just they're the cornerstone in so many different households. And sometimes they don't see that. But honestly, ladies, you're everything to your husband, to your kids, to your coworkers, to your neighbors. And so you are essentially the trendsetter of your life, right? And you can positively influence other relationships in your life. Your children are watching you, your spouse is watching you, your coworkers are asking, hey, what's that in your lunch? Like, I never seen you bring that before. Your kids are going to see you maybe have a green shake in the morning, and eventually they're going to say, hey, can I have some of that? Can I try that? Your husband's going to say, wow, you have a little bit of extra energy. What's going on? Can I get some of that? And so this is, I just think it's so important for you ladies to understand, for everyone to understand that you are the trendsetter. You are so badass. People look up to you. Everyone looks up to you, whether you think so or not. So I just wanted to add that in there. It's all about those baby steps, because sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves. And I want you to know that it just takes step by step by step. And sometimes we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but that's okay, because you just got to keep going, okay? All right. So my tip number 6 for you is to get creative in the kitchen. Now, no one likes bland and boring veggies. I don't know about you, but I definitely do not like bland and boring veggies. And I tell kids all the time when I do these healthy kids cooking classes, they'll tell me, oh, I don't eat tomatoes, Miss Jamie, or I don't really like avocados. And then I tell them, I'm like, I don't really like plain avocados either. It's about making and creating things in a new, exciting, and fun way. And 95% of the time when a child comes to me in one of my classes and they say, oh, I don't eat that, Miss Jamie. And I say, you're not allowed to say that until we try that. And that is because the way that we prepare it is going to be in a really fun way. So we can taste the individual items after, but we're going to wait until we create this beautiful, maybe taco salad with, like I was saying earlier, with this lemon and olive oil and all these beautiful ingredients mixed together, and then taste that tomato and then try to tell me you don't like it. It just tastes so much different. Or that avocado mashed with these different ingredients to make guacamole. And who doesn't love guacamole, right? And I understand, of course, there's texture things that some of us don't always agree with, but it's about getting really creative with your meals and preparing your meals in fun ways. That typical meal where it's that, whenever I think of diet meals, I think of a plate that it's sectioned off with chicken, it's sectioned off with dry rice, and it's sectioned off with like a broccoli. Maybe some salt is on the broccoli, I don't know, but like boiled broccoli is what I envision. You're going to skip the broccoli, the whole dish is going to look kind of unappealing. But if you chop that chicken up and you mix it with that rice, and then you add maybe some roasted broccoli together, and then you add a really delicious, maybe like cashew cream sauce, some really beautiful ingredients. I mean, there's 1,000,001 different sauces that I can name, but you mix it together and then you eat it. And there's just so many different ways to prepare food and make it fun, and different cooking techniques and different spices and different flavors. And we have a very old school mentality when it comes to eating veggies. It's like early 80s, right? Where being a vegetarian, or I'm not promoting vegetarianism, but like eating your veggies is just like a very unappealing thing sometimes. So get creative with your sauces, with your dressings, cooking techniques, spices, seasonings. And you can really enjoy these really healthy, delicious food in a fun way. And it gets your family interested in it more also, when it's not just that sectioned off meal with these individual ingredients, right? So that is tip number 6. Get creative, be inventive. I have 1,000,001 recipes that you can check out. I have it on my Facebook page, Healthy Weight Loss Tips for Busy Women. I do cooking demos over there, and I have a whole cookbook. I should mention I have a whole cookbook. You can find it by searching Jamie Zwier, Zwier. On Amazon, it's called Simple Balance Eats, and I have not one of those meals is that sectioned off meal with the fish and the quinoa and the veggie. Instead, there might be a beautiful roasted veggie bowl in there, or there's different ingredients, different recipes that call for those ingredients, but never just very boring basic recipes. So go check that out. And then my final tip for you today is to make it a family affair. Get the family included in this process. And this is really what's going to give your family ownership over eating these healthy foods, especially children. It gives them ownership over their food. Maybe when you're creating your meal plan for the week, you can let them help you, and if you ask them what they want, and then you can ask them, hey, what fun veggie should we add to our grocery cart this week? What's a fun color that we can choose? What's your favorite color? What can we add to our grocery list? What do you think that's going to taste like? Do you think it's going to be sour? Do you think it's going to be sweet? Do you think you can help me cut it? What kind of seeds do you think are going to be in it? Things like that. Ask children that when you're trying to get them engaged and interested in picking out new and fun veggies. And it's always fun too when you add the different ingredients to a smoothie and you let them guess what color it's going to be. They have a lot of fun doing that. And then, they're like, what do you think this is going to taste like? I think it's going to be sweet. No, I think it's going to be sour. So let's try it, right? And then it's just one thing that will help them, help your children, help your family to just want to eat healthier. Because I hear it a lot, not only for women or families that say, they want to incorporate more veggies, but their kids are picky eaters. And if they ask them what they should make for dinner, it's always mac and cheese or chicken fingers. All right, so what are some fun ways that we can have our mac and cheese in a healthier way? Can we make a sauce out of one of our favorite veggies? And you'd be so surprised what you can make sauces with these days. Tomato sauces, different things that you can blend up and put together. You want to try that can of peas in our pasta this week? Just get them included in different things. So make it a family affair. If you have older kids, let them look online for new recipes, new creative ways to prepare veggies. Let them in the kitchen. Let them help. Have experiments. What kind of flavors and textures and things can we put and blend together? So that is what I wanted to share with you, how to get more veggies into your diet, into your family's diet, into your diet in a really fun, affordable, and easy way. So just to recap, we talked about starting with what's easiest, and then may not always be the most affordable, but it's going to be a way to get it into your diet quick and easy. Second, we talked about using things that you already know how to pick and buy and prepare. We may not be familiar with how to pick or how to cut different fruits and veggies or cook them, so we're just going to start with what we know. Tip number 3 is fresh is best, then frozen, then canned. So there's nothing wrong with frozen and canned foods. They're a way to get fruits and veggies into our diets. Fourth is you're just going to want to double check your recipe, your ingredients in the can to make sure that there's no weird added ingredients. Next, you want to just take baby steps. It's all about taking one step forward. It's not all or nothing here. It's not 0 to 100. It's all about 0 to 25 and what is the next best thing that we can do, and hold it there until we can go from 25 to 50, 50 to 75, and then so on and so forth, okay? And it's okay if we take a step back. It's all about keep this process going because we are the trendsetters in our lives, and people are looking at us, our families looking at us, and we are doing this not only for ourselves, but to be a positive influence for our loved ones. Tip number 6 is to get creative. No one likes bland and boring veggies, so get creative with different spices and seasonings, cooking techniques, sauces, mixing up your favorite veggies with some dressings and making really delicious food out of it. And then finally, we talked about how to make it a family affair. Get the family included in creating your meal plan for the week, going grocery shopping with you, preparing the food, having fun experiments, and being creative in the kitchen together, okay? So I hope that was super helpful. If so, I always love to see your feedback, and you can leave a rating and review. But also, if you wanted to continue this conversation, go and check out the Facebook group associated with this podcast called Healthy Weight Loss Tips for Busy Women. And I'll leave that link in the show notes, and I will catch you all next week. Thanks for tuning in, guys.